Welcome everybody, this is Peter with Plumbing Express. We are just sitting down getting the chance to talk with Jack today from Rinnai, and we are talking about their product line. They've got really product that we've been using for, gosh, darn near almost 18 years now here in Sarasota area. And you guys have been around for, I mean, just a few years longer than that, right?
Yeah, so Rinnai as a company founded in Nagoya, Japan, was celebrating its 102nd birthday this year.
That's not bad, just slightly. I mean, it's about the same age as most people here in Florida. So Jack, one of the things that I noticed when I was in Japan, because like you said, that's where it came from, and I was actually got the chance to visit Nagoya, but when we traveled into Tokyo on the bullet train, I was amazed as we passed the apartment complexes there that, I mean, there was literally thousands of Rinnais. I mean, I could see the logo as we were heading into Tokyo. It's amazing. What kind of market share is that? I mean,
so in the Japanese market, Rinnai is the largest gas appliance manufacturer. In the States here, as far as gas tanklesses go, you know, we are one of the top. You know, our market share is probably 50% of the market share right now. Maybe a little bit better, but
we of course
realistic.
Yeah, and then of course it varies from location. I mean, regionally, there are obviously different companies that have different strongholds and stuff like that. But I mean, I know for us, like I said, we've been putting you guys in for 18 years. We've seen from the very beginning here in the States when basically all the writing on the outside was pretty much still in Japanese, other than the word Rinnai, to now where, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, we're talking about really an American-made product now, right?
It is. So as of a week and a half ago, Rinnai opened up a 300,000 square foot manufacturing plant in Griffin, Georgia.
Wow.
So here in the near future, most of the products that you receive from us will be manufactured, and I don't mean assembled, I mean manufactured in Georgia, and then shipped throughout the country.
Well, that's awesome because, we deal with a lot of different product, and of course, the word assembled in America comes up a lot.
Yes.
And that's great. I mean, it's great that we're bringing jobs to actually put stuff together, but the truth is when you're manufacturing, so you are literally creating all those components here, or at least a very vast majority of them. That's a huge difference. I mean, when you're talking about a 300,000 square foot plant, well, that's why you need that space.
And not only are we, manufacturing here, but we also, providing over 400 jobs to, native Georgian people. So, trying to get back to the States.
That's awesome. I mean, I've got a lot of family and friends that live in Georgia, so I know that's definitely a great thing to get the chance to have that. So.
Yeah, and certainly being here in Florida, we should benefit from being so close to Georgia, and that product should be here quick and easy for us.
That's nice. Well, let's talk a little bit about not just your product, but tankless in general, because since we've been putting these things in for so long, I have heard, let's call them the myths, the urban legends, all that stuff like that. At the beginning, one of the biggest things, we still hear it nowadays, like, oh, I don't want that tank water heater anymore. I want an instant water heater.
Instant water heater.
Tell us, like, what is it that you, exactly. Just the laugh alone kind of tells you, the consumer out there, instant hot water, there is a product out there called Insta Hot, but that's not this.
No.
But kind of tell us maybe where that came from. Because obviously myths a lot of times come from something.
Yeah, so, back when Rinnai introduced the tankless, our tankless product to the market in '99, a talk show host at the time threw that catchphrase out there, instant hot water, and it has stuck with the genre of product since then. Yeah. We have every manufacturer, but Rinnai especially has tried to explain that it's more of a continuous hot water application.
I love that. Continuous.
Now as technology has gotten better, we have put recirculation pumps in products. So the word instant hot water is becoming more of a reality.
Well, and that's great because obviously part of the goal of not just the manufacturer, but us as plumbers as well is, if a customer has a vision, we want to be able to achieve that for them. Yeah. We just want to make certain that communication issues don't create a barrier to us actually being able to achieve that. Correct. And that is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about because we've been, again, putting these products in. We can remember at the very beginning when it was like, recirc, you can do it, but boy, there's a lot of pieces and components that go with it. To nowadays, I mean, you've got products, the recirculation is literally built right into it. It utilizes all of the thermostatic sensors that are built into the system. Doesn't have to have an external plug-in for the pump and stuff like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so, it is very awesome. the technology in our product, you know, it's amazing. You know, so a customer could set up timers for all their you know, water usage throughout the days. You have on-demand switches that you could do. So if you want water right now, you literally just push a button and the recirculation pump turns on, and you have instant hot water.
So, you know, one of the things that I know that we deal with other manufacturers, and I think you guys are the same way, is obviously you guys are now working with doing the recirculation system, but there's really kind of two basic types of tankless water heaters, right? I mean, we can look at ones that are standard efficiency, still, you know, they're very good efficient systems, but then we also have the higher efficiency system. So, you know, you kind of think of it as the Prius in a sense of tankless
So
heaters.
you have your condensing and your non-condensing. Most of us have dealt with non-condensing tanklesses. The easiest way, in my opinion, to explain that to a homeowner or something like that would be to discuss it as in the efficiency, you know, level. So a condensing tankless, about 10 cents of every dollar you use to burn fuel or to create hot water, 10 cents of that goes out into the atmosphere as waste. Your non-condensing, it's more of about 30 cents.
I like the 10 cents better. That sounds a lot better to me.
It does sound a lot better.
I mean, I really would prefer no waste at all, but you know, that's not a realistic thing. We're, you know, we're talking physics here. So you have to lose a little something in the combustion and stuff like that as well.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, that is a lot more palatable, especially, you know, if you're talking about, at least when we deal with customers that have a propane system.
Yes.
You know, propane being that it is not a utility, it's a commodity. It fluctuates quite a bit. And so we really strongly encourage customers that are on an LP system to go with the more efficient. It's a one-time cost, but that it pays itself back over time. That 20% difference in efficiency, let's just call it that. I mean, you know, there's specifics to it. But that 20% change in efficiency pays out over the long haul.
Yep, definitely.
So,
and then one of the other added advantages to a condensing product is, you know, the installation of it tends to be a little bit easier because you have options to vent with PVC.
Now that's a huge one, and we definitely have taken advantage of that because, you know, there's a lot of homeowners association that they don't want to see one of these mounted outside. Right. I mean, I think you guys make a great unit, looks great. Obviously, you know, it comes with a jacket that we found over the years is very durable outside, which is a nice thing here in Florida with the heat, the salt and sun. But the cool thing is we mount it inside. We've really got the ability to, instead of having to use stainless steel piping, which adds up, can also be hard to get right now.
For sure.
We actually have the ability to just pipe it outside with solid wall PVC pipe, which is nice. And of course, there's some other products out there that can get used, but for ease of getting stuff, that makes it a lot easier. It's a lot more cost effective for a customer. So, and you know, one of the things we love about these as well is we have the ability to make them direct vent. So that way we can actually bring in the combustion air from the outside and exhaust out. Because, you know, when we have, you know, homeowners that have garages sometimes that are housing some nice vehicles, they might even have it air conditioned. You know, that needs to be able to be pulling from outside 100%. And exhausting to the outside. 100%. So over the years, we've you know, dealt with a lot of different manufacturers, a lot of different products and stuff like that. And things change over time. But like, where are you guys standing right now on like warranty? Because that's a question I get from customers. You know, they start looking online. They're like, 1, 5, 7, 12, 15. What am I getting warranty for?
Sure.
What does that look like for you guys?
So on our condensing products, right now you get 15 years on the heat exchanger, 5 years on parts, and then 1 year on labor.
So let's break that down if you don't mind before we progress forward, because this will also then pertain to the non-condensing as well. But kind of explain the actual heat exchanger.
So the heat exchanger, for lack of a better way of putting this, is like your heart. So this is what really pumps, and this is what produces the hot water in your tankless. So it's the part of the unit that we want to last the longest, and it's probably the most durable portion of our tank, or of our product.
Well, and so that piece, just so you guys would be aware, doesn't really house the electronics. All the circuit boards, all the thermostats, though they connect into it, they're not actually part of it. So really it's mainly just a pathway of, for you guys, copper, or is you guys use stainless steel? Right.
So stainless steel on our condensing products.
Right. And so, you know, to Jack's point, that is a great way. I like the analogy of thinking as being the heart, because when it goes down, you've lost the heart of your system. But so you guys are 1 year on the labor, and like you said, then 5 year on other parts. So not the heat exchanger, but like we talked about,
PC board, water servos, wiring harnesses inside, all the other components that are not the heat exchanger. And another great thing about our labor warranty is if a customer registers it within the first 90 days of it being installed, we will extend their labor warranty for 4 more years.
So literally you would go to 5 full years.
Yep.
Wow, that's a huge thing. I mean, I think if you take nothing else away from this video is getting the knowledge that if you will just warranty that within that time, or go register it within that time period, you're extending that warranty out. That's huge.
That is huge.
And down here in Florida, what we see is a lot of times if you're not maintaining it, and we'll talk about that in a second maybe, that you might get into situations where within that 5 year time period, you're getting some issues.
Definitely.
But let's kind of dive into that because really maintaining the tankless water heater goes hand in hand with the warranty.
It certainly does.
If you're not taking care of anything on it, you can't really expect it to last long. I mean, you wouldn't just hop in your car and just drive and be like, well, 50,000 miles in, this thing cranked out and, just have to get a new car now. But I'm really upset with the manufacturer because I can't believe it didn't go 100,000 miles on that original oil.
Right.
And it's kind of the same process a little bit with the maintaining of it, right? What is it you guys are looking for on the maintenance? Maybe from the perspective too, like we have a lot of hard water down here. How does all that interact with the system that you guys are looking
totally.
for?
So I love your analogy about the car. I would also use maybe a HVAC system at a house, where you should have a maintenance. I think it's important that we start stressing to homeowners or end users that this isn't just a tank that you forget about in the corner, which technically you should be servicing as well.
Exactly.
But nobody really ever does because it just sat in the corner and it worked.
Yep.
But there's, we're hoping to get 15, 20 years life out of our units. So what our annual maintenance would look like would be an hour, 45 minutes to an hour descaling. Rinnai recommends a food grade vinegar. We do not discourage people from using other descaler products, but we prefer the vinegar just because I like using the analogy. If I put 2 cups in front of you, one vinegar and one descaler, which one are you likely to take a sip at?
100%.
Yeah.
And we think the same thing. I mean, I'm not saying you should be hanging out just drinking the hot water out of your faucet, but on the other hand, hey, you're taking showers, you're washing your dishes. I like the aspect, and that's what we use here, is we like the food grade, or not just food grade, but I mean, it's vinegar. It is food grade.
So one of the important things to know about flushing is, unlike your tank heater, which has the anoid rod in it, which when you heat up water, it extracts the impurities out of the water, which attack the metal. And the reason why we put an anoid rod in a tank heater, because it's a weaker metal, and so the impurities will attack that before it attacks the lining of the tank. Well, tanklesses don't have that capability of having that technology in it, so which is why we need to descale it and then do other maintenances to it annually.
Well, and I like that as well because we've talked to a lot of different people and we've had homeowners, whatever, just say to us, like, oh, so you guys are just going to come out and flush out the heater? And it's like, well, yes, but a lot of these units are outside.
Yep.
And as much as we love to see them inside just for longevity's sake and protection of the device, the fact of the matter is there's a lot of them are outside. So here in Florida, man, we've got mud daubers, wasps, bees, lizards, spiders. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff. And man, I've pulled all manner of different things out of those. Heck, I remember one time we actually came to a job and the heater wasn't working, which was no surprise since there was actually a snake tail hanging out of the front of the vent on the actual water heater. Of course, it was winter time, so it was probably like, hey, I like this as a warm place. Not realizing, hey, I'm going to get roasted.
For sure.
So yeah, I know for us specifically, we have an actual, several point system that we use. So it's kind of like when you take your car and somebody says, we've got a 12-point inspection process that we go through. It's the same thing that we use on that. We're going to make sure that during the process of flushing it, hey, there's other things that get done. We get in there, we blow out the inside of it because, even though it is fairly protected, dust and stuff, dust, sand, all that types of stuff gets in there. So we want to clean all that stuff out. We want to check and make sure that we're not seeing any issues. We're not smelling any burning of the circuit board and stuff like that. So those are all little things that we want to make sure that just like these guys are producing a product they want to have longevity, we want to make sure for the homeowners that we are helping them be able to do the legwork to keep that longevity up.
100%. And another thing to mention is Florida, we got hard water, and in certain spots, very hard water. So a descaling is just adding extra life to your unit.
Where do you guys stand on what is the grains of hardness that you guys would recommend the system potentially maybe be around?
Yeah, so we like to see somewhere between 11 grains,
and lower,
which seems to be and lower, which seems to be the industry standard.
Yeah, and obviously I knew that he knew it was lower, but I just want to make certain for the viewers out there that you guys understand how that works. The closer we get to 0, the less hardness we have, the less total dissolved solids are in the water. Unlike pH, where you want to find that balance point of about 7, that's that great neutral area. With hardness, you really want to push it down as much as you can. And we've got some customers, to your point of having hard water, I've got some folks, we take care of their water for them. You're looking at 80 grains of hardness. So basically, it's like if you don't have a softener on that, it's coming out like stalactites hitting you in the face when you take a shower.
For sure.
So we know as a manufacturer, you guys have these parameters because you want to see things last for the customer.
Yes.
You're not in the business to make a product that is not going to last the length that you want it to.
Sure.
But there are things that have to be done. We
100%.
need to make sure things are connected correctly. We need to make certain they're having the right amount of gas flow.
Yep.
Do you guys run into that very often? Something that we definitely see is sometimes undersized gas lines being put in. And what are the side effects to the system by having that undersized gas line? And how does that look whenever you talk about how the longevity of the heater is?
Yeah, so in the last 10 years, a lot of manufacturers, including Rinnai, has come out with you can tie in a 1/2-inch gas line to your tankless system, which is 100% true. But you still have to follow national fuel codes and sizing it properly. Make sure just because there's a 1/2-inch gas line for your tank heater, that 1/2-inch gas line may not work for your tankless water heater.
Well, just because you're familiar with this, and we want to get it right from the horse's mouth in a sense. Normally your standard tank water heater is going to be around 40 to 50,000 BTUs.
Correct.
That's standard. Obviously, we can get into some things that are bigger, ones that have blowers on them and stuff like that. They increase the BTUs. So you're talking only around, let's just say 50,000 BTUs. But what are the 3 sizes normally that you guys are selling of the tankless?
So, right now our minimum BTUs, 130,000, all the way up to 199,000 BTUs.
Yeah.
And those are single units by themselves. That's not talking about tying in a bunch of units, with each other.
Yeah, which again, one of the things that we have done with the Rinnais is we've actually worked with some hotels and installed them for them. They have a great rack system that we put in, and it allows them to tie all together, and really came as a great, kind of set and go kind of piece.
Yes.
Obviously, there's still work to get the gas and the water that's sized correctly to it, but it's a great product, and really we put it in quite a few years ago, and they've had a fairly trouble-free run with it.
We're very pleased with our commercial product, especially our rack system and our Demand Duo. One of the nice things on our commercial side is that we will come out and we will walk the job with you and give you 100% sizing guarantee. So as long as we have all,
and we took advantage of that because we had them come right out.
As long as we have all the variables, we will 100% guarantee it, and if it's wrong, Rinnai will pay for it to get fixed.
Now, one thing you just brought up before we get out of here, because I don't want to keep you too much longer, but you talked about the Demand Duo.
Yes.
This is kind of like I feel like it's kind of like the secret stealthy product that you guys have that not everybody's aware of. And it's not fitting every application, but it's there for a reason, because there's some applications, this is like the prime time thing.
Really
Could you just tell us just a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so our Demand Duo is our commercial, we take our commercial tankless, the difference really is it's black and it has a commercial PC board in it. So we mount that onto the outside of a storage tank, either it being an 80-gallon or a 119-gallon tank. And what's great about it is traditional storage tanks that are just transfer type of tanks last forever. So we took that concept. So we're taking all that energy, heating it in our tankless, and then transfer it into that storage tank. So that storage tank should last significantly longer than your traditional, other brand commercial water heaters that are out there.
Sure.
Because all those other heaters, all that energy is inside the tank. So expansion and contraction is happening right there. Whereas us, it's all happening outside and we're transferring in. And you're talking the difference that if something happened, maybe a couple $100 to $5,000 repair over a $15,000 replacement, on another brand.
Yeah, and that may sound like a lot when he says a $5,000 repair, but the truth is, when we're talking about those higher level units, so 199,000 BTU or higher, tank water heaters, they get pricey, and they have a lot of components to them that can or cannot have longevity to them.
Certainly.
And being commercial, one of the things that is a little bit harder is they're not going to get a residential warranty. Right. So you get a couple years in, you're out of warranty on that type of stuff because it's just such high usage on that. Now, one of the things we like about the Demand Duo as well, because we have installed those in applications, especially kitchen type applications, is you have a lot of situations where there's high draw for short periods of time.
Sure.
And though a tankless water heater is great and can handle a good amount of draw, what it can't handle alone, most units, is it can't handle over like a 9 gallon a minute draw.
Right.
But if we have a dishwasher that might be pulling 15 to 18 gallons a minute, but really only for 5 gallons, 10 gallons even, that's a great place.
It's an awesome spot for it.
It powers down on that thing and nobody's ever going to see any issue. How about and again, I know this is based on sizing of the tank and stuff like that. Like what kind of first hour rating are we looking at on those? Do you have any idea?
Oh, off the top of my head, I do not have that number. I wish
I stumped them on one.
Stumped me on a good one. That's one I love talking about too, and I don't have it because I just love comparing our product to everybody else's. So.
Well, one thing I know from experience is it's a lot.
It is.
I mean, we've transferred out other manufacturers' straight tank water heaters and put that in, and we have not seen any change in that. And we're talking ones that we're doing quite a bit per hour. We're talking 120 gallons or more an hour of what their demand was. So we didn't see any issue with that.
And we also have a couple different models, so we can take 2 tanklesses and either mount it directly to the tank, so you have 398,000 BTUs, or we can give you a small rack system. You can mount that in front of the tank and tie it in, and also get your 398,000 BTUs for your bigger, demands.
All right. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground, Jack, and I really appreciate from just even some background of Rinnai, some of the myths and urban legends of tankless.
For sure.
And then just your product lineup and what you guys have. So, guys, thank you so much for getting the chance to sit in with us as we talked about Rinnai. It's a great company, great product. We've been using them for a lot of years. I appreciate Jack being here and sharing with us about this. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Don't forget, if you get a chance, if you like our content, go down below, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, Plumbing Express, we're always here to be able to share with you guys new and great information. And also, too, always remember that help can be on the way. We're here to be able to take care of you guys and your service, project needs, anything you guys have. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one.